A few hours ago, Jonathan Lamb posted something that changes everything. Not an attack, not an accusation, a revelation. His mother, in her final days, made a wish. She wanted Jonathan to return to leadership at Daystar. And when I read Jonathan's response to that wish, I understood something fundamental about grace, redemption, and what happens when a parent finally sees clearly. This is the story of Joni Lamb's final act of love, and it proves everything we suspected about what she saw in those last moments. Let me read Jonathan's post directly. Learning that my mother's dying wish was for me to return to leadership at Daystar is both healing and deeply confirming. The estrangement between us was one of the most painful seasons of my life, and knowing that her heart moved toward restoration in her final days brings me a peace I didn't expect to feel so soon. Her wish aligns with what my father communicated to our family and the board in his own succession plan. Both of my parents in their final days pointed in the same direction. Most importantly, it is a calling God planted in me when I was a child. This was never about ambition or title. It is about faithfulness to a calling my parents recognized and that I have never walked away from, even in the hardest moments. Families experience pain. Relationships become strained. But God is big, and His grace is greater than all of it. My desire is to honor my parents, to seek peace where peace is possible, and to see Daystar flourish for generations to come. I am hopeful that the board will honor what my mother asked for, and what my father asked for before her. Daystar has never belonged to any one person. It belongs to God, with a mission they sacrificed so much to advance. I trust the board will carefully consider the legacy my parents left behind and the future they hoped to secure. I remain ready to serve.
This is extraordinary. Jonathan just revealed that his mother, in her final days, had a change of heart. Not a small thing, a complete turn. She realized Jonathan was right. She asked for him to return to leadership. And his response is grace. Not, I told you so. Not vindication. Not triumph. Grace. He says this was never about ambition or title. It is about faithfulness to a calling my parents recognized and that I have never walked away from, even in the hardest moments. That sentence right there, that is who Jonathan is. Even when exiled, even when betrayed, even when disinherited, he never abandoned his calling. But here's where it gets important. Jonathan also posted a follow-up that clarifies something critical. In recent conversations regarding reconciliation, we expressed a willingness to pursue peace, forgiveness, and healing within the family. What we were not willing to do was retract anything regarding our child or make admissions we do not believe to be true as a condition of having that conversation. Those are two very different things. Our child is protected, heard, and supported. Any questions regarding potential criminal conduct belong with the appropriate authorities, not in family negotiations. We believe it is possible to seek peace without abandoning deeply held convictions. We believe it is possible to pursue forgiveness while allowing legal and investigative processes to take their course. Hurt feelings exist on all sides, and we have never claimed otherwise. We remain willing to extend forgiveness, seek healing, and pursue reconciliation wherever possible. Our hope remains the same: truth, justice, healing, and peace for everyone involved.
The follow-up is even more powerful because it shows the real issue. He will not trade the safety of a child for reconciliation. He's saying, we want peace. We want forgiveness. We want healing. But we will not pretend the harm to our child didn't happen. We will not retract truth about what happened. We will not make false admissions to get peace. That is wisdom. That is justice with mercy. That is someone who understands you don't have to choose between forgiveness and accountability. This is where the real test happens. Joni's dying wish is documented. Jonathan has revealed it publicly. The board now knows what Joni wanted. What will they do? Will Rachel honor her mother's final wish or fight it? Will the board follow what Marcus and Joni intended or continue the trajectory of corruption? This is the moment that defines the future of Daystar. Here's what I want to emphasize. Joni Lamb in her final days did the right thing. Not perfectly, not fully, but in the moment that mattered most, she moved toward restoration. She had a chance to maintain control from beyond the grave. She could have stayed silent. She chose to bless her son instead. That's redemption. That's grace. That's a mother's love finally overcoming pride. Now, Marcus's vision is being fulfilled. Marcus said, Jonathan takes over when Joni passes. Joni confirmed it. Yes, Jonathan should lead. Jonathan accepted it. I'm ready to serve. The succession plan that Marcus laid out is now being validated by both parents. This is what a legacy looks like. Not a power grab, not ambition, a father and mother's final wish for their son to lead with integrity. There's a discrepancy that's been bothering me since Jonathan revealed his mother's dying wish. When Joni Lamb died, Daystar released a statement. It said, previously, Lamb worked with the board to ensure an executive leadership team was in place so that the ministry would continue uninterrupted. Notice the language. A team, not a person, not a structure, not a plan with names, just a team. Then Jonathan posted what his mother's actual dying wish was, for me to return to leadership at Daystar. These two statements are fundamentally different. The board announced something vague and institutional. Joni's dying wish was specific and personal. The board said team. Joni said Jonathan. And that difference matters enormously. When someone in power uses vague language, it's usually intentional. It creates space. It allows for multiple interpretations. An executive leadership team is in place could mean almost anything. Jonathan leads the team. Rachel leads the team with Jonathan as part of it. Multiple people share leadership equally. Jonathan has a seat but limited authority. The existing structure continues with Jonathan added, and that lack of clarity is revealing. If the board immediately announced Jonathan Lamb returns as leader of Daystar, supported by our executive team, that would directly honor Joni's dying wish. Clear, specific, aligned. They didn't say that. Instead, they gave us corporate speak. A team is in place. The question now is, will the board honor what Joni asked? If they do, Daystar can be restored. The ministry can recover. The mission can continue. Jonathan has shown his willingness. He's shown his grace. He's shown his readiness. The ball is now in the board's court. A mother facing the end of her life finally saw clearly. She realized what she'd done. She understood who her son really was, and she made a choice to set things right. Not perfectly, not without consequences still needing to be faced, but in the direction of restoration. And her son, who had every right to be bitter, every right to demand vindication, every right to make this about himself, responded with grace. He honored his mother's dying wish. He called for the board to do the same, and he positioned himself to serve with integrity. That's a beautiful story, and it's the redemption arc Joni needed. Not redemption that erases what happened, redemption that moves toward healing. And maybe, just maybe, Daystar's future is brighter than we thought.